Welcome back to Retro Dad Reviews, your place for gaming guidance while trying to raise a family. Today we're going to be looking at the classic sci-fi horror remake Dead Space. And can we take a moment to just appreciate the title, because it is just an amazing multi-leveled pun. First of all, this game takes place in the dead of space. Not only that, but you might die while playing, which will make you dead in space. You're fighting necromorphs who were dead people that worked in space. I mean, do I need to go on? The person who made the title must be on a dad level joke of another tier. Like I said, this game is a remake of the original Dead Space release from 2008 and built on third-person shooter horror mechanics from classics like Resident Evil. The protagonist, Isaac Clarke, is dropped into a necromorph-infested space station caused by some weird space cult that worships some creepy marker that gives us, well, this. And can I say that I love that Isaac is not some beefed up space marine who was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, he kind of is at the right place at the wrong time, but Isaac is an engineer that was dispatched to respond to a distress call from the USG Ishimura, and Isaac's girlfriend Nicole happens to be on the ship as well. I think it just adds to the frantic movement and panic stomping you do sometimes, because Isaac is just this guy with a normal job who isn't trained to deal with apocalyptic zombies. And that's relatable as a parent. No one is trained or ready for the hellstorm and chaos and, joy brought about by raising a kid. You won't be ready until the second one, and even then it's just another type of hell. Kind of like Dead Space 2. Now, I played this game back in my youth and I remember having a grand old time playing because I had the freedom to kick back and play this at my whim. But this is a new era for me now. My time budget is tight, got a normal job, and we know how much time those rascals take away from us. So with that in mind, this isn't your normal review. I'm not here to give professional ratings. I'm not here to give you the best strats for surviving insanity mode. I'm here to tell you if this game is worth your time. First stop is pausability. Getting back into Dead Space, I remember the praise for its HUD-less design, and I had a moment of worry if that meant there was not a true pause screen. And I was so relieved to find out that I was wrong. Dead Space has a legit pause menu that you can use at any time to pause the game and access system settings, load a save file, or quit the game. However, there is an in-game menu where you can check the map and your equipment. Warning for this menu.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
This menu does not pause the game. You can still be attacked and ambushed by necromorphs while accessing this menu, so don't go into expecting to be safe from harm.
It's a trap!
Another feature that we haven't encountered in my previous reviews are save points. Dead Space utilizes save points to save your progress, so there are not opportunities to manual save and drop the game if you need to. We got a little spoiled with God of War and Spider-Man. However, while I was initially worried about this, there are an abundance of save points you find, and the map will show exactly where previous save points that you visited are, so you can backtrack if needed to save the game. Can you put this game down for 2 weeks and come back to it? This theory was actually tested for this game. I play this game pretty sporadically compared to God of War, and the game does a good job of making sure you don't lose your spot even after being away. Probably the best feature to combat that memory fatigue are the quest menu option that shows you what quest you are tracking, checking the map to see where the endpoint of the quest is, and using the in-game guidance to show you the right path to follow to get to the quest marker. Save points are often in rooms with multiple access points, and firing up the game after a while will have you wondering which way is the right way to go. Just push down on the right stick and a beautiful blue line will show you the way. Do I need to pay attention to the story? The story in this game is not told entirely in canned cutscenes that force you to stop the game and watch. Most important things are done in-game, meaning a holovid will pop up, you talk to the other person on the line, learn some development, and continue the game. Other times you will watch video logs scattered around the Ishimura's offices or read text logs to get more background about what happened. Now, I don't know about you, but I typically like to turn my brain off while playing games. I'm usually reading the same bedtime story 12 times before I'm allowed to fire up a game, so if I have to spend some extra time reading in a game, I'm probably going to skip it. And that's probably okay for this game. The higher story points are told through the videos and dialogue, like I mentioned before, but obviously us non-readers are missing out on background and lore by opening then immediately closing out of all the text logs. I'll even say this is one of those stories where if things just start to get confusing in-game or you lose track of things, just push through and keep playing for gameplay and read the Wikipedia article later on. It's a quick one. should you let your kids play this game. Dead Space is rated M for mature for scaring the shit out of players, scaring the piss out of players, causing a constant state of fear and dread, and again, scaring the shit out of players. I've learned not to play this game with headphones on to avoid anyone coming up behind me and tapping me on the shoulder, because my heart just can't take moments like that anymore.
I'm too old for this shit.
As for your kids, no. Just no. What are we even discussing here? Even if you think it's a funny prank to have your kids, and I'm talking young kids by the way, play this horror game, guess who deals with the consequences later? You do. You'll be woken up by your screaming child crying about how the necromorph is going to get them in their sleep and turn them into one of those little baby zombies with the tentacles. My dad always said, if you're going to punish your kids, don't punish yourself, and you're just digging yourself a grave if you let your kids play Dead Space. Is this game worth the cost? Dead Space is still a pretty new release, so you still have a full price tag to deal with on all platforms, but you can save yourself $10 by getting it on PC because they haven't adopted the $70 standard yet. For what it's worth though, this is a game that you can definitely wait to go on sale, especially if you already played the original back in the Xbox 360 days. I think I have like 3 different copies of the game, honestly. EA just kept giving it away at some point. So if you're looking for the cheap option and don't care about outdated graphics, go get the original version. It still plays pretty well, but you can tell that it's over 10 years old. This remake isn't in the running for Game of the Year and hasn't drastically changed the horror genre, so being patient and waiting for a sale is a good choice for this game. Do you need a guide to play this game? This is a mostly linear game with some branches for exploration, but nothing that will get you so off the beaten path that you'll be lost with no idea where to go next. Remember, just press the right stick. A guide is definitely not necessary for the casual playthrough and should be reserved for people looking for all the trophies and the psychopaths that want to play this game on insanity. And finally, did I beat the game? For the first time, I did not beat the game.
You're a phony! Hey, this guy's a great big phone!
Move this man!
I trusted you.
Oh, okay, calm down, calm down. I played this game a long time ago and my review is still valid. I've been playing this game sporadically and I've completed about 5 hours, so I'm about halfway done. But while this game is good, it hasn't hooked me in a fresh new way, but it feels familiar. So if you're looking for a familiar game to play, this fits that mold nicely. Classic third-person view with progressive horror elements set in a sci-fi setting. Dead Space is proving again that it is a top-tier game. Dead Space is available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. Suck it, Nintendo. Probably the best January release of this year, Dead Space is kicking off 2023 on a good note for gamers. In conclusion, Dead Space is dad-approved for parents, but denied for kids, because we can't be scaring those little whippersnappers.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
The horror elements are enough to keep adults on their toes, but just prove to be too graphic for kids. Again, I'm not dealing with nightmares. I won't be the cause of that. There are plenty of things in this world that are going to scare them, and they don't need me sitting them down to play a space zombie game to assist with their despair. As always, thanks for stopping by for the review and listening to my corny jokes. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things to help me so you get more dad-tailored reviews. I'll try to review games as they come up and catch up with some big name titles. Yes, I am still struggling through Elden Ring. But be on the lookout for some retrospective reviews on classic games from 90s and 2000s. I guess we are that old now that the 2000s can be considered classic games. Oh boy. Anyway, thanks again and see you next time.